Hello, welcome to nTOOBE. I got the other package from Germany, so let's crack it open. It looks professionally, okay. Box inside box. Nicely packed. And this is receipt. And thank you note. Give me 5 stars. So you can see what I bought. It's a nice box. You don't have box from China like this always. Costs money packing. And yes, nicely packed. Just power cord. Power supply. It is not very heavy. It has some weight, maybe around 1 kilogram. No, it's more, maybe 1.5 kilogram. And before I bought it, I was not sure if it is a linear power supply with a transformer or this switching power supply that sometimes you can get when you buy a power supply like this lately. Menu, yada 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 yada. And I can actually see it is a linear power supply because there's the bolt that holds the linear transformer. So let's take a closer look. What I'm missing in my little lab that I'm equipping just recently is a decent or at least half decent power supply. I wanted to do ATX power supply. It is still my project. I just want to do 5 volt and 12 volt outputs and minus 5, minus 12, whatever it is, so I can combine it. I didn't want to put a regulator there and go from 0 to whatever, just 5 and 12 volts. And what I'm currently using is this little beast. Okay, you can hear the things falling. It is AT power supply, not ATX. And when I say AT, I mean AT. It is from original IBM AT from 1986. It is model number 5000 something. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it's a really nice AT power supply. But you know, it has disadvantages. I get 5 and 12 volts out of it. Back to this little puppy. I actually bought it used. It came from Germany. So I'm supposing it works, but it may surprise me still. It is 15 volt 3 amps. linear power supply, as we saw earlier. I can see some things I don't like right away. First, the banana female plugs are this protected type. You cannot screw a wire inside, it doesn't hold wire. Then it has this earth terminal in the middle. It would be better that the neutral or minus is in the middle and earth somewhere else, so because this is the standard spacing for the things you plug in. But presumably I can change the terminals if they are not soldered on the board, control board directly. Maybe I can change the arrangement also. Second thing I don't like is you cannot switch off the output. So when you switch on the power supply, it supplies power. So you have to turn it off, adjust it, then turn it off, then connect the device you want to power, then turn it on again. Yeah, so and I will see, but I think it just measures the current. So I cannot set the current without connecting something or short-circuiting the power supply or something. I'll show this later when I turn it on. And it has constant current mode, constant voltage mode, which is nice because you can set the current limit with this thing. So it is pretty compact. It is not really small, but it doesn't take too much space. It's not too much weight if I want to carry it somewhere. And look at this passive. It doesn't contain bloody fans because I don't expect, if it had fan, I wouldn't expect it to have any thermal management, speed regulation, so it will just create bloody noise all the time. And this one should be silent. Distributed by Conrad Electronic SE. And look at this serial number 63. Oh my god, yeah. So anyway, should I turn it on or should I crack it open? What do you say? I hear you. I even don't want to waste time, get a proper screwdriver from the garage. I'll just use this broken one that is lying around here in all the excitement now. So let's remove those screws first. It's just sheet metal screws, but it has this securing washer, which is a bit surprising. It has fairly many screws, so this can go also. Okay. Okay. It's rather nice actually. First, mechanically it feels solid. This sheet metal is not shitty. It is few millimeters thick. And inside we have toroidal transformer, which is a bit surprising. I was expecting this normal type linear transformer, but since it has bolt, yeah, it should be toroidal. I didn't see that coming. And it has it is earthed, the chassis. It is nice. It is screwed with washer, then security washer, then it has a bit of, you can see it is a Loctite thread security also, and they scraped the paint of this chassis plate to get better contact. And look at all these wires. They are inside the thermal tubes, and for insulation at higher temperatures. And the switch is really nice. It's those wires. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the wires. Obviously, is it control wires or just the wires that power the control board? They are tied together, but it is separated. It looks okay. And look on these lugs. There is a plastic wrapping around it, plastic tube, except for earth lead, but you don't need any insulation here. Same on the IC jack on the back. It is insulated and protected. This heat resistant tube is heat shrinked, then the hot snotted here. Then yeah, this voltage regulator, it has its own heatsink, which is nice. And this one, is it voltage regulator on transistor? I don't know. It's just like this. It is not screwed in, so this is a bit I don't know if it's bad, but it could be better. And we have a relay here. This is capacitor. I cannot see the branding on this, but it is supposedly some shitty, yeah, Chinese capacitors. The relay is Hui Ke. Yeah, whatever. We have 4 diodes, some rectification here. Let me see if I can read. What is that? It is CW's, okay, it's 7812 voltage regulator here. And this one is D3, I don't see, D313. I don't really know what's D313. I'll look it up. And there is the transistor mounted to the back of the chassis with a silicone pad. And on the back of the chassis is the heatsink. So yeah, all this construction seems pretty nice. But after all, this is a Chinese power supply. When you see here, yeah, Chinese power supply, and it is produced in China. I can check the company on the box. Okay, it says weight 2.6 kilos. Maybe. And it is bought in November 2014. Like I said, I bought it used, so it is half year old. I don't know if I mentioned, it was €54 delivered. So actually €44 plus €10 shipping, which is just add approximately 10%, you will get dollars, but second hand. But it seems nicer than the ones you order from China directly. So I'm pretty happy with this buy. But I didn't turn it on yet. Maybe it's not working, you can never be sure. But so far I'm happy. I cannot see the company that produces it in China, but I don't think even if I could see that it would be some useful information. So okay, there are some specifications written on the box. Let's look at those ones. Features blah 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 blah. Okay, let's read it all then. BT-153 lab power supply 0 to 15 volts, 0 to 3 amps. It goes to 0, obviously. Oh, you cannot see it. It goes to 0, but yeah, lately all of them go to 0. 55 watt output, linearly regulated, as we saw, automatic switching between constant voltage and constant current. So yeah, it's nice. It has regulated voltage, of course, but also current limit, continuously adjustable power supply, number of features, automatic switching because constant voltage, constant current, continuously adjust. Oh, they repeat continuously adjustable like 10 times. They are very proud of this. Make this power supply the perfect beginner model for hobbyists. And yeah, I hope it is. LED display, fine adjustment, overload, and reverse polarity protection. Okay, nice. So 230 volt. Yeah, it's from Germany, so I had no fear getting 110 or 115 volt. Output 0 to 15 volts. DC output current 0.3 amps. Power consumption maximum 100 watts. So yeah, the efficiency is obviously between 40 and less than 50% for this one, but yeah, it's linear regulator. Maximum out of 54 watts. Input IC blah blah 4mm banana jack output. 2.6 kilos. I presume this means the power supply. Net weight without package. So yeah, package content, lab power supply, power cable, operating instructions. So it is shipped and delivered like new. Okay, what did I miss here on the front? There are two separate boards, one for the display, and it has nice 10-turn pots. I presume this is for adjusting the current and the voltage display, so if it's not accurate I can adjust it. And this is 7805 voltage regulator. You can see, okay, I forgot to lower the camera. This is the top for the logic board, obviously. So it doesn't, this is this electronic doesn't use the main rail for its power. It uses separate taps, so it doesn't introduce the noise inside the output of the power supply. So yeah, this is nice, and this is how they do usually. See the power transformer, toroidal transformer, model 47, blah blah blah. Thermal switch 130 degree. It is thermal switch. It doesn't say how many watts. Yeah, but it's supposedly 50 watts, something like this, 50-60 watts. Probably you can decipher this model number, but I may look it up on internet also, but I don't know off the head. And what else is here? I cannot see what is on this control board, but it presumably has some kind of microcontroller, maybe big, maybe not, to drive these things. And yeah, those posts, I can easily exchange the, I don't know if you can see it, I think it's visible here. I can exchange them with the banana posts, the long one that I can stick the wire on top. And they are not even soldered, they are just screwed in on the board. But yeah, I cannot change their, I cannot rearrange the positions since they are mounted on the board directly. All in all, okay, this is one turn, just this carbon sweep potentiometer, and one turn. So yeah, it's, I can probably exchange it for 10 turn, probably is better, but then this fine and coarse arrangement, but I'll try it, maybe it's fine like this. So construction of this thing seems surprisingly good to me. This is the difference from Chinese to Chinese power supply, and of course the difference from Chinese to the power supply that is intended for German market. It obviously has to conform to some regulations, safety, and it doesn't, surprisingly, it doesn't have the Conrad logo. It has Basetech, but still they would not choose the cheapest one. They have some criteria, they have to preserve their reputation. And look at that, what I discovered also, the rubber feet, they're not glued, they're actually screwed down. This is pretty nice. You don't see this thing often. So finally, let's power this thing on. Okay, it's nice, different colors. It looks pretty good. It is in constant voltage mode. Now there is some misunderstanding, general misunderstanding between, okay, it doesn't go all the way to 0 volts. You can check this out later. The voltage is set here. It is, okay, now it's gone to 0 on fine adjustment. So before I start yabbing, let's see the adjustment. Okay, a little bit below 7 volts, or half the range approximately. You can hear the relay click and change the tap on the linear transformer. So it uses lower voltage output for lower of the linear transformer for lower voltage output of the power supply to decrease the dissipation of the power transistor. Now this is set to maximum and I see it's only 13.2 volts. Okay, so here we can go up to 15.7. The precision of this is questionable, but the adjustment is actually pretty good. It is not too coarse, not too jumpy, and it responds fast. I like it. It's pretty good. What I started saying is there is some common misunderstanding between this voltage and amp meters on the lab power supplies like this. The value you set for voltage, you get this value on the output. But for current, no, it's not the case. Your device that you connect to power supply will take as much current as it needs, but under certain conditions. First, that the power supply can provide that amount of current, and you can also set the current limit here. So you're limiting the output. If your product wants to take 1 amp, it will take 1 amp if you don't limit it. It will not take 2 amps if you can adjust limit to 2 amps. But it will not take these 2 amps if it doesn't need it. But if you limit it to half an amp, then it will not go above that. So this is useful for testing for new designs when you don't know what will happen if you set the full amount of current. And obviously this power supply, first of all, it doesn't have you cannot switch out the output. So you operate it, you have to set your parameters first, then turn it off, then connect your device, then turn it back on again. And while you turn it back on, there will be a voltage spike that may damage your device. It can also happen if you have the option to turn off the output. It can still spike your device, but maybe it is less likely. And I don't have a storage oscilloscope to measure this spike, unfortunately. It would be interesting to see how many volts it is.